Hey everyone, Meinke here from MLive.com. Joined by Nate Atkins. Lions getting set for that big divisional championship on Sunday against the Packers. I would say throughout the year, the Lions have been the picture of health, especially when compared to the rest of the North and including the Packers. But the Lions are dealing with some health issues coming into this game, and I think they can affect the outcome, especially in Darius Slay's case. He did not play last week with a hamstring injury. Is practicing this week. His status for Sunday at this point is still uncertain. The Lions have played 3 games on center Travis Swanson. He's also back at practice. Could play on Sunday. And then Theo Riddick has not practiced in a number of weeks now with a wrist injury. Not practicing this week either, so I think his outlook is probably not very good for Sunday. 3 very important players. Nate, how do you see their health statuses affecting this game?
Yeah, I mean, the Lions, obviously, they targeted this game as the one they want to have them back. There might not be a next week if they're not. I think Darius Slay is easily the most important of these 3. I think that goes without saying based on what we saw in Dallas that Dez Bryant did with the size mismatch there, and especially what Jordy Nelson has been able to do as of late, especially last week when the Vikings didn't have a good plan for who's going to shadow him, and he just ripped them apart. And so I think that this is a game where they need to have it back because he has a size and speed combo that you just can't pick another guy to go out there and replace. And especially with what the Packers are doing on offense, you have to be able to take away the deep threat.
Aaron Rodgers during this 5-game winning streak is 4-game winning streak is he has 11 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, highest QB rating in the league. And 2 of those games came against the Seahawks and Vikings, who have 2 of the best secondaries in the league. These guys are killing people. And we saw last week with the Lions, without Slay, they had no answer for Dez Bryant. Scored a touchdown against Johnson Batamosi, scored a touchdown against Nevin Lawson. When he was matched up against Darius Slay a couple of years ago in the playoffs, 0 receptions. That's the difference of Darius Slay. And in a game like this where you're going up against one of the best passing games in the league, one of the hottest offenses in the league, certainly he's a key, I think, for the Lions. And if you look at Matthew Stafford, he's a little dinged up right now, not playing the same. I don't think you can count on the offense quite as much as you could earlier in the year. Getting defensive stops, I think, in this game are going to be paramount for the Lions.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It all starts with the Packers' offense, and you've got to address that first. That's why Slade matters so much. The other 2 players are trying to get back on the other side of the ball. Both obviously important integral parts to this team. You see the offense sort of slink back without them. I think between the 2, and it's not one or the other, but I think they really need Theo Riddick back for this offense, for this passing game, mostly because you're just seeing the receivers on the outside are having a hard time with man coverage right now, and teams are going away from zone to go to man to give them problems. Dallas did that last week. Green Bay loves to use zone. I think they're going to go back to it this week. But to be able to say, we've got Theo Riddick, we're going to match him up on your linebacker, and if you want to play man coverage, good luck. We're going to have a safety valve there. I think that's huge for this offense, and the lack of a safety valve like that has really started to, I think, affect Matthew Stafford when he's kind of felt some pressure. He doesn't have guys outside. He doesn't have this go-to guy to lean on when things are kind of getting tough out there.
I totally agree. I agree with you. There are pages of the Lions playbook devoted to Theo Riddick and Theo Riddick sets. And when he's not in the game, you rip those pages out of the playbook because Zach Zenner's not doing it and Dwayne Washington's isn't doing it. Dwayne Washington's not much of a pass catcher of the backfield at this point in his career. Zach Zenner actually has very good hands, but he's not a great route runner. He's not a guy who's going to take a linebacker on in space and make a miss with the first cut. That's the difference with Theo Riddick. It adds a whole new dimension to the offense. It's not just the running game or the passing game. It's a running back who can run these receiver routes. I mean, I think about the wheel route he beat Miami with a couple of years ago. And he's done that a number of times. And as you say, he is the safety valve. I don't know what the percentage of completion is for Matthew Stafford on Theo Riddick passes, but it's got to be obscenely high. And not having him, especially with Marvin Jones totally absent, I mean, you're looking at basically Anquan Bolden, or you're looking at Golden Tate, and if it's not those guys, he's talking to run, and we have seen that more and more recently too. I think that's a symptom of not having Theo Riddick on the field.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I don't want to minimize the loss of Travis Swanson. It's been big. I think he was easy to overlook when he was out there because he was so steady. And where it's starting to affect them is, I think, in the pass protection more than anything, is they face some really big defensive tackles. Malik Collins last week, Damon Harrison against the Giants the week before, and they got through for sacks. And it's just kind of hard to expect. I think Greg Glasgow's played well at that spot, but it's hard to ask a rookie to go up against that kind of size matter. The Packers have a couple guys who can do that sort of thing, but I think they're more able to replace Swanson than those other two, just from a schematic standpoint of We can have another guy come in and play center, and he can do similar things to a worse degree. With Slay and Riddick, you literally don't have those athletes at those positions, and it changes the way you play. But nonetheless, they'd love to get Swanson back.
I think Swanson plays. I don't think Theo plays. I think, to me, Darius Slay is the big wild card. It's a hamstring. So he's out there, he's practicing. I saw him doing a little bit of cutting today. But it's one of those injuries that's very difficult to heal. You have to wait until it's healed fully, or you're going to go out there and when you accelerate to top end speed, you're just going to pull it again. You're going to aggravate it. It doesn't go away. So it doesn't help the Lions if he goes out there partially healthy. He's got to be right. And if he's to that point, I don't know. It's not uncommon for a guy to practice with a hamstring injury and not play because he's just not totally ready for that top end speed yet, the cutting and so forth. And so we'll see what happens. Obviously, to me, outside of Matthew Stafford, the biggest X factor in this game for Detroit.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to have Slay back. They're at odds in a lot of positions here. You look at a mismatch. I think a lot of them favor this Red Hot Packers team. That's one where they can handle Jordy Nelson. I think it becomes a different ballgame.
He's done it before. We'll see if he can do it again or he gets a chance to. For Nate, I'm Kyle. We're on live. Keep it real.